think he's muted.
No.
Yeah, you're still muted.
Uh-oh.
He's
He unmuted, but now it's still telling him he's muted. Oh, he's popping in the earbuds.
Hello?
There he
there he
is.
is.
Word is I'm bringing home the bacon. Word is they don't see what it take to make it, but the word on the street side make it look easy. No flattering, cool, way too easy. Word on the...
Welcome once again, ladies and gentlemen, to the best baseball podcast based out of Peoria, Illinois. We'll go Tri-County area. That gives us at least 250,000 people. There you go.
We got a
Best.
satellite office here in
Yeah.
Geneva, Illinois,
Yeah.
as well. Very small.
North of the wall, though, so we can't
It
really.
is north.
We are very excited today to have a young man by the name. Oh, there he is, right there. Look at that. Speak of the devil.
Danny has joined us from Florida. It looks like he's in like an attic.
They keeping you guys in a cabin?
You're on mute, I think, Danny.
I still can't hear him.
I think he's muted.
No.
Yeah, you're still muted.
Uh-oh.
He's
He unmuted, but now it's still telling him he's muted. Oh, he's popping in the earbuds.
Hello?
There
he is.
What's up, guys?
Did they put you in an attic at IMG?
I mean, it kind of looks like an attic. I mean, this is my bed right here.
Okay.
I
That's
don't
pretty
know.
cozy.
And then this is downstairs. This is like this is just a little house. Like there's a bigger house next to it. So
Nice.
I
Dude,
mean,
the higher you are in elevation, the less likely the alligators are going to get you.
exactly.
That is a true story.
We've seen some snakes out here. We've seen lizards. I mean, you never know what's down there.
All right. Well, as you can see, folks, we have been joined not only by Edwardsville's Hunter Baugh, but also by St. Lawrence's Daniel Coyle. Hunter is joining us from what looks like his home in beautiful Edwardsville. And as Mr. Bentley alluded to, St. Lawrence is taking a little spring break trip to Florida to the IMG Classic. And that's why Daniel appears to be in an attic. By the way, solid bed choice there, buddy, with the right next to the window unit. That is prime talk right there.
I know.
You may
I
not
had
wake
to.
up. You may not wake up. You
That's
sleep
plus
all the way
feel.
through.
And I got the air conditioner right here. I mean, I'm chilling.
Yep, there you go. Literally. All right. Well, Dan, I was just telling him we'll go we'll do Hunter first since I already took him through this, and you can kind of watch how we do it with him. But it'll mostly just be asking you, I told you I want to talk about your tattoo, and I've got one too that we can kind of talk about, and then talk about what you think the year holds for St. Lawrence and your recruiting process and all that stuff. So, but we'll start with Hunter. We are joined today, like I said, by Edwardsville shortstop Hunter Baugh, coming off a pretty good weekend down at the old Metro East Kickoff Classic, otherwise known as Meacock. And Hunter got things started off with a grand slam. Who was that against? Remind me, Bentley or Hunter?
It was East Moline United, right?
That's right. Okay, that was against United. Yeah. I was going to say, it gets confusing with all those teams down there. Hunter, what goes through your mind the minute that ball comes off the bat?
That was a swing where it was one of those you just kind of knew. You ran into it, a breaking ball, 1-2 count. They kind of just backed up on the pitcher, and it was just one of them that was just, you're immediately filled with energy. You just put your team up. I think it was we were up 2 or something, so you kind of just busted the game open in the later stage of the game, and it's just kind of one of them. You're filled with energy. You're excited, and my home run trot was
Is that one of those where it's so pure you don't feel it come off the bat?
Yeah, it was one of them. Like you hit it, and usually, you kind of can tell, whether you caught it off the hands, off the end of the bat. It was just one of them you hit, and it kind of felt like nothing was coming off the bat. Your eyes immediately go up into the the scenery, and you find the ball, and it was just like, oh, that's way out of here.
Nice. Let me slow into my trot.
Yeah.
You had a
Billy, you
nice
want
day. Yeah, you had a nice day all around with 3 hits, a steal. You had an extra RBI later that day or earlier that day. I can't remember, but yeah, that has to like just give you an injection of confidence that could last a whole season when you get the big bomb out of the way and get a victory in game one. Um, do you feel like it carried over the confidence of dropping that grand salami, kind of carried over to the next 2 games you guys played, just confidence wise?
Yeah, I definitely say so. I mean, kind of early in the game, like you were talking, I picked up an RBI, second at bat, with a deep fly ball to center field. So it was kind of, I was on the barrel all game one, which was, all you can ask for coming out and seeing live pitching, and being kind of in a competitive nature, for the first time that's not against your own team. And then going into the second game, it was just the ball. It felt like a beach ball was up there coming towards me, pretty much the rest of the weekend. And game two, I don't think I had a hit to show for, but I worked 2 walks, had a line out, and had a hard hit ball into the 6 hole for a fielder's choice. But then
Yeah, that's
game three, I was back on it with extra base hit and a single late in the game. So I think that one swing kind of propelled a weekend, of what could have been, hey, okay, I picked up a sac fly, whatever. So, I jumped a curveball, and it kind of just lit the weekend, and, definitely helped with the confidence in the box.
Yeah, that second game, I kind of read through the play by play to see what you did in the 2 at bats that you didn't walk. That's one of those games where a scout that comes to see you and sees you line out and walk twice, somebody just looking at the box score goes, that's an average day. But a scout is going to know that you were on it. And then, like you said, against New Trier, you pitched too, went 3. Did you go 3? Gave up maybe 1 earned, I think, 5 Ks.
Yeah, I went 3 innings, 5 Ks. I believe I had a walk in the second inning, and then I think I gave up 3 or 4 hits, maybe 5. But yeah, so the New Trier game was a little bit of everything. I took the ball for the first time of the season, after coming off last year. So the nerves were high. Just knowing the standard that I set last year on the mound. So it was kind of erratic. I didn't really know how hitting would go. Just being, hey, I'm on the bump. I try and focus in on a little more on one. But this year, obviously, we're not as deep talent wise that we were last year with, the Alabama kid, Joe and Krebs, and just having depth in our lineup. So it was more, I knew I had to, you have to do both when it comes down to it. And it ended up being a good day both ways, I would say.
Yeah, and let's not forget, New Trier is a decent squad.
Yeah.
PBR's got them in their power 25. They're legit. So that's not an easy first task when you're on the mound there.
Yeah,
Hunter,
for sure. And they're a young and scrappy team. So, that always, they're not giving away at bats. They're making you kind of earn everything. And you're on I think I was on a 50 or 45 pitch count. So, those fly by when guys just, foul off one pitch and at bat. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. Hunter, talk a little bit about what it means to play at a program like Edwardsville, where there is that expectation that, for a lot of programs, winning a regional title would be, a big deal. Like I teach at East Peoria High School, and we just won our first basketball regional since '97 this year. But at a place like Edwardsville, like regional's almost expected, and the sectional's not far behind. What do you have to do as a player to meet those expectations or to prepare yourself for those expectations?
yeah, I think, kind of being a guy who's been around for going on his 4th year, with those expectations, as a young end freshman, I was, more, trying to just take in everything. And I think that's kind of the biggest thing is you get the chance if you're young and you're a sophomore, you're a freshman, and let's say you're not playing a big role right away, you get the privilege to watch other guys go to work. And you're a part of that, whether it be, we have practice plans. So for us, it's like bench guys do a lot of the base running. Okay, well, now you're help training the defense in a certain scenario. But with those expectations, it comes a lot of nerves for newer guys, which is expected. And I think, kind of where we are this year with pitching wise, my sophomore year was pretty much the same 3 pitching staff that took us all the way up to state. So the staff is, they know what's going on. They kind of know the expectations. And as an offense, it's just, you got to grind out at bats. The strikeouts got to be limited. The balls, got to be put in play. Our big thing is the ball's got to move. Just, whether it be, let's not leave it up to the umpire. Let's put pressure on the defense somewhere and just fly down the line and just see what can happen. It's easier, for someone else to make a mistake than, hope and pray that the umpire doesn't punch you out on a ball that's, a half inch off the plate. So I think, they're big standards there, but it's also exciting. It makes every season you're looking forward to, okay, this time comes around. We know we got, whether it be, you're looking forward to playing Brother Rice, you're looking forward to playing St. Lawrence now that they're up at the 4A level. You're looking forward to playing all these schools with other competitors, because in the Southern Illinois area, you only get so much competition before, you have to go and play these big Chicagoland schools.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tell us about Nicholas Chirotto, Joe's little brother, who is he's not so little, and the dude appears to be nails. The game that you went grand slam, he had 4 hits and 4 steals. I mean, that's big time. And he's only a sophomore, right?
Yeah, so he's a 2028. He kind of he played varsity as a freshman. He got innings once. I ended up sliding over to third base. So Nick slid in at second base and kind of gave him, let him wet his feet in the varsity world. He was small. He was undersized last year. But this year in the weight room, we trained together a lot. Being from the same summer organization with Gators, and he's thickened up. He's grown probably, I'd say, 4 or 5 inches in height. And he's an electric ball player. He's a guy who's gonna take advantage of anything you give him, which is not normal for a sophomore in the scenario. A lot of sophomores play passive. They don't want to make a mistake because they have the chance with varsity. But Nick is he's just a straight ball player. He's kind of a dirt bag. There's not a ball he's not going to die for. There's not an outing he's not going to give you 110%. And in a way that's similar to Joe, and I think that's kind of what he was brought up in, is go out and give it everything you have, and it's gonna work out for him. He's gonna be a great ball player with a big upside, in my opinion.
Good deal. Diggs, you want to bring Dane? Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, Hunter, give us an Edwardsville name that you don't think is getting paid enough attention, like that people should know.
Yeah, right now I'm gonna shout out our freshman center fielder who kind of caught me off guard, along with a lot of people in the stands, is Andrew McCutcheon. He's a left-handed, thrower.
He signed with the Rangers.
Yeah, I saw that name, and I'm like, he's going to be a player.
Yeah, he is. He's legit. He's lefty all around, and he's a flat. He can run. He can hit. He's a true player when it comes down to it. And I think the way he holds himself confidence-wise in the box, we get in and he's hitting 7th or whatever game 1 in the lineup, starting in center field, which alone is impressive. And then goes out and jumps the first pitch fastball that he sees for a single. And, he ends up taking a base, I think, in that game as well. And then by game 2, he impressed the staff enough. He's hitting leadoff for us. So he went from 7 to 1 real quick. And I think even as the at-bats went on at leadoff, his first at-bat was a little, a little nervous, and you could tell, but that's expected. Being a freshman one on that stage and I think we were facing an Eastern Illinois commit game 1 or game 2.
Yeah.
Who, I mean, it's his first time seeing a, upper 8s arm, low 9s. And he eventually got in the box. He turned one around for a single and kind of started a little rally. We ended up scoring in the inning. He did that. And, he kind of gave everyone a good chance. He's an upbeat kid. He's kind of quiet, but, he's a good kid. And I think he's got a high ceiling, really, really projectable kid.
Very cool, man. Very cool.
Diggs,
Mr. Bentley, you got anything else for Hunter?
No, I was going to say, should we alternate a little bit and bring Danny in before the swamp creatures get at him?
Yeah, probably should.
We're also getting close to his bedtime. They're an hour ahead.
Yeah, they got curfew down there. Daniel, you still with us?
Yeah, I'm still here. What's up?
We thought maybe the gator got you for a second.
I know. I mean, I look, you want to see one while we're out here. That'd
You
be
got
pretty
it.
cool.
This is a true story. So my wife went down to New Orleans 2 years ago to do some rescue work for dogs, like transports and whatnot.
Yeah.
And the rescue down there put them up at one of their cabins, and it was built over the swamp, and you could look between the floorboards and see the swamp beneath you and see the gators, like while you were just standing in the living room.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, don't drop your phone or whatever else, because I mean it was wild. She sent me a picture. I was like, I wouldn't sleep.
Yeah, that is insane.
Yeah. So, well, Daniel, let's talk a little bit about. I invited Daniel to come on the podcast today because I just happened to be cruising. I think it was the Daily Southtown.
Yeah.
That did a little story on your tattoo, which is dedicated to a former teammate of yours. And like I said, that kind of sparked something with me because, I'll just show you. I don't know if I'm going to do this, but where the hell's the camera? Where's the records room, Bentley?
I could see a seam on a baseball.
Yeah, I can see a baseball seam.
There we go.
Looks like you took a line drive right off the hand.
Yeah.
From
Not the best angle ever, but that is for Mitch Jansen, who played for me with the Outlaws and was just an all-around great kid, and came real darn close to leading the nation in ERA as a senior at Bradley, and then was killed in a plane crash the year after he graduated. He was a pilot and took some guys up for a road construction viewing to make sure like they weren't going to harm any animals or running into any problems, and the plane crashed. That was back in 2020. Tell us a little bit about yours.
Yeah, so I used to play with this friend of mine. This was like he used to live like right by me.
Okay.
We played on the Homer Heat together. I don't know if you've ever heard of them.
Oh yeah.
But this was back when we were like 6, 7, and 8. And like we would hang out all the time, and then he like just one day like his parents tried to wake him up and he wouldn't wake up, and it was just like a tragic thing. Like nobody could have stopped it. Like his heart stopped beating through the night.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like that's
so like
awful.
I mean, you couldn't even prepare for it. Like somebody gets diagnosed with cancer or something like that, you can kind of whether you realize it or not, you're preparing yourself for it. But man, that's 8, 9 years old, not waking up. That's crazy.
I know it was terrible.
Yeah.
But here I'll show you TG33.
I like it.
Yeah.
Very
Thank
cool.
you.
What was his name?
His name was Tristan Grabner.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Thank you.
It's very cool. It's all, I like the way you put it, that he's always with you. That was I've seen guys do that. We had a young man up here. You guys might have come down and played in the tournament, the Brad Wallen Memorial Tournament down here in Chillicothe. It always draws like 600 youth teams from 7U to 14U, and Brad was my bat boy, and I've recruited some of his teammates and gotten to know the family, and it's it's great to know that they're always with you. Like I still
Yeah.
carry like when we go to travel tournaments, I still carry one of Brad's challenge coins with me to flip for good
Hmm.
luck. So
Yeah.
um it's not easy, man. Um question for you. When you're around something or when you think of him, does the tattoo ever like tingle? Does the hair stand up on your arm?
Hmm. I mean, I kind of have a cool story, like kind of going off that. Well, first off, I'd say maybe a little bit it does. But the day or like the week or something after he passed away, um, he found like his parents found feathers all across his yard. Like he loved picking up feathers and looking at feathers. And almost every time I'm on the baseball field, I find a feather and like I pick it up and I put it in my pocket. And like that's like it's like a crazy sign to me that like he's there and like that like I genuinely do believe that he's there with me. I think that's pretty cool.
That is
That's
the
awesome.
coolest thing ever. That
Hmm.
is that is awesome, man. That is
Yeah.
awesome. Um, man, that's just a uh man, that gave me chills. That's
Right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so kind of in the same vein as what we were talking about with Hunter, um, similar expectations at a place like St. Lawrence. What does it mean to put on the black and gold and deal with those enhanced expectations?
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a little bit different this year coming off a state championship. Like it's never happened in the school history. So it's really gonna be about focusing on how we can leave that in the past. You know what I mean? And really to look forward onto this year. And like when you put on that jersey, you know you're gonna have to give your 110% best effort every point in the game. It doesn't matter if we're losing by 10, up by 10. You know, we're busting our ass all the time. Um, like one of our big things is just being like gritty. Like we love saying like sisu. It's like a Swedish term for grit,
Yeah,
and that means like you just got to keep going through no matter what and like push your hardest. And that's something we live by. And we have these Viking warrior shirts that like you put it on, you're a Viking warrior. So that basically means like you put this shirt on, you're gonna give your best effort for the team. You're gonna do whatever you can to be successful on the team, whether like you're playing or like doing charts. There's so much you can do. Like you're an energy guy. Like we need everyone to be a part of the team. So putting on that jersey does mean a lot. It's not like just an average thing to do. You put that jersey on, you know you're gonna get something out of it.
Danny, I got a topic to discuss. So, you're coming off the state title, and like you said, you got to find a way to find some new fire because you reached the top of the mountain. And then you get a transfer, which I think happened before the season last year. Tristan Steger comes aboard. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
talk about a quick injection of energy. I mean, we're talking about a top 10 dude ranked in his class, Kentucky commit, left-handed hitting catcher that runs a sub 7, 106 exit
Mm-hmm.
velos. How is it playing with that fella?
He's a straight up stud. I'm not even gonna lie. Like he brings so much great energy to the team too. Like it's not just the way he plays. He's a good leader. He picks up everyone. Like we're down, he'll get a hit and he'll like come back to the like energy, like lighten everyone up. Um, he started the year off so hot too. Like my dad, he's like, this kid's crazy. I'm like, I know, like it's gonna be like that all year. Um, but he's always like hitting the ball hard, which is a significant thing to do. Um, Yeah, and behind the plate too. He's so good with our pitchers. Like he controls the game very well. Like settles them down, knows what he's doing behind the dish, and going off that, he has a strong arm too. Like he can throw at anyone, and he has already so far this year. So like he's a straight up stud. Like he's like a great dude overall too.
Yeah, you guys are so loaded. We've talked about your teammate Danny Donovan before on our podcast. Question about you're committed to Lewis.
Mm,
You my co-host Diggle took them in one of our podcasts as one of the top recruiting
Recruiting
classes
classes.
for anybody in the state, and I know your teammate Mickey Lotus is also going there. So did
mm.
you guys go on your visit together or not?
We went a day after each other. So I went
Okay.
first and then he went the next day.
Was
Um,
there some talking about, hey, I liked it. What did you think? And
there
kind of,
definitely was. 100% there was. I told him about everything I went through that day. And then when he went, he told me everything. So I don't know if you guys saw like when you guys were talking with Hunter. He was like right here next to me. He was kind of
was he?
sneaking in. Yeah. Um, And so there was a few of the guys up here, but it was funny. But yeah, we for sure kind of planned that out. Like me and him like go way back. Like we're pretty close friends. And I think we're gonna room together too. So like
I think it's a great idea, and I think it takes a lot of the unknown away, and just the fear of not really feeling comfortable in a new environment. I think it
mm,
reduces that anxiety by at least half when you have a buddy like that on campus in college. That's great.
yeah, I'm honestly super excited to go there. I know a few other guys like around the area too. Like I'm from like the Lockport area, so I know my friend Adam Kozak is going there. I played with Jake Newman during the summer. He goes to Lincoln Way East, and I know this kid from Oswego that's going there too. So
Yeah, you guys are
How
gonna.
much did
It's a great class.
how
mm,
much did Bilecki getting popped in the 12th round out of Lewis like open your guys' eyes to like, oh, like this is like we don't have to go to, you know, a D1 just to get drafted. Like if we do it here,
yeah,
we can do it anywhere.
like it was definitely like a cool thing. Like we're like, I mean, nothing's impossible. We kind of always thought that, but uh, having a guy like him, like from Marist, like go out and get drafted straight out of Lewis is like a pretty cool thing. And another thing that really sold us was just the overall school and how they like work towards a lot of things. Their coach is great. They do workouts. Like they just really impressed us with what they do and how they want to prepare us and introduce us to the school.
Very cool. Well, boys, one of the things we like to do is, and you both been outstanding. This is, I'm just going to tell you right now, one of my favorite episodes ever, because both of you have just been outstanding representatives of your program and just shown yourselves to be really smart dudes. Um, we like to educate kids though, so if you would, whoever wants to go first, feel free to jump in, um, and then the second guy can go. But what is one thing you wish you'd known about the recruiting process before you got into it that you man been like, man, that would have been good to know before I started this whole thing?
I guess I'll go first. Something I wish that I knew going into the like recruiting process was probably that not to press yourself over going to the big D1 school. Like obviously that's a great thing. Like if you're going D1, you're going D1. But there's also a lot of things that go into it. Like nowadays you could go to JUCO and transfer out. You can go pretty much wherever. Like the transfer portal is so big. Um, but really, in the end, like getting a good education is good too. Um, so I really wish overall, I wish I knew that it's okay to not like press over not being like at the big school, the biggest school. And even like when your friends are around you, like it's okay. Like you can still get to a good school no matter where you go and battle yourself out. So that's probably something I took away from the experience.
That's awesome,
That's
man.
good advice. What do you think, Hunter? You got time to think about it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I really agree with what he was saying. It's kind of one thing, everyone's hyped up. August 1st of their junior year comes and that if they haven't been around, the national stage, it's like, hey, I'm legit. I can go be a shortstop for University of Tennessee. I can go be a catcher at Kentucky. And that's one thing, as a kid that I genuinely thought I had, before, seeing some of these kids who are legit going, Power Four SEC baseball, they're just a different breed. And, one thing I kind of wish, and I wish I wasn't so hard on myself looking back at it as a junior. August 4th was my first phone call. And it was, that day one, I was, nothing happened. And I was like, dang, maybe I'm not actually good enough to play. So kind of just not beating yourself up and, don't rush your decision. Eventually at the end of the day, it's what's best for you, what's best for your family, whether, you want to be close to home, whether, that doesn't matter to you and you can go 12 hours away from home. But it's kind of just find the right fit, find the coaches that you bond with. Find people, if you know someone going to that school, talk to sources, talk to your coaches, and, don't feel like you have to make a decision by yourself. And like he was saying, it's not, you have to go D1 or your career failed. There's so many talent nowadays that it's just, you can get drafted at anywhere at any given point in time. And it's just, everyone's fixated on D1, which is great. Like, it's a great goal to have, but just know that whatever stage you end up playing at is going to be legit baseball, and that it's going to be a fun ride no matter what.
That is great advice from both of you. David, you got anything else for these young men?
No, I just wanted to plug Mr. Coyle's stats a little bit since we got into Hunters. From what I can see, your current on base percentage is like 730. So congrats to a nice start. Couple doubles for you, 5 runs or so. And Hunter, we talked about you. I think you're 5 for 10 so far. So you guys are both blazing hot, and we appreciate you coming on and. Stay healthy, and you guys play for 2 of the greatest baseball programs in the state. So it's been a real pleasure to have you guys on.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it. I had a blast on this.
Awesome. I'm glad I reached out to Heineman to get your number, and he was like, he's a great dude. And if Max says that, then it must be true, and it was. So
I hope we see them this year. That's who I want to see this year.
Well, hopefully y'all end up in a sectional at Illinois Wesleyan, and Bentley and I can come watch, because that'd be some good viewing.
Great. Yeah.
Yep.
So, well, boys, we're just going to talk about other ball players from around the state. You're welcome to hang out and chime in if you want to, but if you don't, or, you got to get off because it's later down in Florida, Dan, whatever you boys want to do. But we appreciate the heck out of you coming on, and wish you guys nothing but the best, not only in this season, but in the future. I think you guys are going to do gangbuster stuff at whatever you do in life. So,
yeah. Thank you. I actually got to head out. I got to go help clean up dinner.
Not a problem, dude.
Infielders got it tonight, so that's where I'm heading off to.
Nice.
All right, have a great day, guys.
Take care, Daniel.
Bye.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for having me on. It was a blast.
No problem, Hunter.
Thanks,
great to have you, man.
Good luck to you.
What are the chances, by the way, that you want to be a baseball coach when you're growing up?
A baseball coach? Actually, I talked to Seth Von Barron, who runs GBA Academy, and he's talking in my ear about being a baseball player or coach once my career's over, and kind of just being, whether it's a scout for him or whether it's running a high level team. So I mean, it's in the cards. I don't I don't see a world where I can just say goodbye to the game at some point. Right now, it's just, it's been that big of a role in my life. And,
Yeah.
if I can stay with it, whether it's, I'm playing or whether I'm teaching someone's kid how to play, it's kind of, as long as I can have a foot in the door of baseball, then I probably will.
Well, it's whether you knew it or not, it's in there, buddy. That's exactly what Seth's seeing. You remind me a lot of Seth Empson, who another friend of the podcast who
Yep.
currently pitches at Memphis and has a lot of the same traits. You guys are rare breeds to be sure. So I'm glad to hear you want to stay in it and be around the game, because that's what we need is guys like you. So we thank you for coming
Yeah.
on, man, and this will release tomorrow. All right.
All righty. Sounds good. Thank you guys so much.
All right. See you,
Thanks,
Hunt.
Hunter.
So, yeah.
Good call on the Seth Empson comparison, because
Dude.
after the first question, I'm like, he needs to coach as soon
Yes.
as he's done, whether that's at age 45 or 28.
Like that.
His baseball IQ is off the charts.
Oh my God. And just the way he can already see his classmates, like,
Yeah,
like what he can literally process what they're going through. Like
he
hope
articulated it as well as
yeah.
any young man 17 or 18 that I've ever heard, except for maybe Seth Empson, who was 19 when we first had him on, I think.
Yeah.
But sounded very similar.
That was incredible. Like both those kids, like just
did you watch Danny's his teammates popping in?
No.
When we were asking Hunter questions, for a good 12, 15 minutes, and I kept seeing like different teammates pop in, like
nice.
So that had to be hard to concentrate.
Nice.
For
Thankfully, it only shows you if you're talking. So
yeah.
But yeah, man, that was. I can't even describe like what I'm feeling right now. Like I'm kind of like I feel good about where the game is at, knowing that there's kids like that out there.
That's why I love doing this podcast. I will admit I was getting a little misty eyed. You guys talking about the tattoos and stuff.
Yeah.
Those are cool stories, sad stories, and those things stick with you forever and shape who you are.
Yeah.
You got to send me that article. I'd like to read that about.
Will do. Yeah, it was. He was talking about the feathers thing. I just happened to be my Mitch was killed in a crash in Lincoln, right there on Interstate 55, and on the first anniversary of his death, I just happened to be in Lincoln, like getting on the interstate right there. And the hair on my arm, right where that tattoo is, it was like I'd put some of that 80s Aquanet hairspray on my arm and combed it straight up. Like it was insane how that feeling I got. Like,
yeah.
But it like he said, it's the universe, it's him letting you know he's there. And that just, that's a cool feeling. So let's talk about some other guys that tore it up this week, man.
Yeah, I'm stealing one guy that you know well right out of the gate from the state champs, two-time state champs, Ottawa Marquette Academy, Mr. Alec Otney, who's going to Valpo. I thought to pitch, but dude, I mean, and he did pitch this week, 3 innings, no hits, 8 Ks, but he also goes 7 for 12 with 9 RBIs, 4 doubles and a bomb. And, Marquette Academy moved up to 2A. They played 4 games, including today. So they're 4-0. They've scored 69 runs. And no, that's not it. That's not my head's in the gutter sex joke. They scored 69 runs. 69. That team is ridiculous. I think they could plow through 2A. They're so good. They're so loaded. But Alec,
I just need them and Father McGivney to just we just need to clear the 2A regional field and just be like, hey, you guys just meet in Champaign and let's get it on. Like
that, it's unreal how good they are. We've talked about Novotny before, the Valpo bit, Missouri Valley representing. What a start! What a start, man.
Yeah.
So I kick it back to you. Who you got?
You know what? It caught my eye on opening day. The Indians of Brimfield / Elmwood, I guess, played Kewanee. Not that's particularly notable, not a big upset or anything, and won 4-0. But wanted to give a shout out to their pitching duo. Sean Crow, who's a senior, got the start on the bump. Went 6 innings, and some of you might be like, "Oh my gosh, that's pitch limits and all that." Listen to this line, and then I'll tell you how many pitches he threw. He goes 6 innings, 12 Ks, 1 walk, 1 hit. How many pitches do you think you needed to get through 6 innings?
With 12 Ks, I'm trying to guess right on the dot. 69 pitches.
Ooh, close. 76.
Well, I mean, we're talking 69. I had to go with it.
Thought you said you weren't going to put your head in the gutter there, buddy.
Yeah, it's back there where it belongs.
So Sean, twirls a gym on his own. They lift him, I presume, for pitch count reasons, being the first game of the year and all. And they turn it over. By the way, Sean is not going to school anywhere. He's a senior. He's going to go to Western Kentucky. And then he turned it over to Spoon River recruit Noah Malone. And Noah says, hey, let me just add on 3 more Ks and let the pitching staff walk out of here with 15 Ks to 1 walk on the day. So 1 hit shutout, 15 Ks, 1 walk between them. That's a pretty good day for old Brimfield Elmwood.
Yes, it is. It is. It reminds me of another combo pitching of a little Tremont v. Richwoods. Our friend of the pod, Chase Rhodes, pumping heat out of the gate. But, for another time, I'm going to go up north to St. Rita, and Colin Quinn, not the guy from MTV, you old heads out there, not the MTV.
What was the name of that game show with him and Sandler?
Oh, man, it was on forever.
Was it Remote Control?
Yeah, I think so, and I'll Google it when you're giving your next guy to confirm that. But Colin Quinn, catcher out of St. Rita, they started out 2-0. They played Evergreen Park and Glenbrook North and put up 16 on Evergreen and 12 on Glenbrook. So Colin went ahead and started out 7 for 9. And he's got 2 doubles and a bomb with 6 RBIs. He's a Heartland commit. That's a decent start to your season there, Diggs.
Not too bad at all. Not too bad at all. So I went duo on the next one as well. There were 2 young men who their batting averages are fine. But it's that all their hits in week 1 were extra base hits. I'm talking about Morton's Sammy here, who's a senior catcher / right-handed pitcher. And then Tremont, third baseman, right-handed pitcher, Andrew Dawson, also a Valpo recruit. The Beacons are getting a lot of love from this podcast lately. And all 4 of his hits on the week were for extra bases. So Sammy goes 3 for 9, 2 doubles, a home run, 4 RBIs. Also makes his first mound appearance of the year in K's 5 and 4.2 innings of work. Dawson goes 4 for 10 on the week with 2 doubles, 2 homers, and 6 RBIs. Not necessarily the best average, although 400 and 333 obviously plays, but compared to some of these guys going, 10 for 12 or whatever, it's no joke. But still, to have all your first week's hits be extra base hits, you're doing something right, for sure.
You're on the barrel, you're swinging hard, and you're out there trying to do damage. That's what that tells me, and that's what you want to be doing. That's going to get some attention. It's a confirmed, You are correct. Nice pull on the remote control. MTV 1987 debuted that show. So let us feel old here for a moment.
I'm gonna have to go watch them on YouTube when we're done here.
Yeah, I gotta check out some old. You're right though. Sandler, that was his also cameo to the world, was on that show, I believe. I'm gonna go for my final to Triad, the Knights, a strong squad, and they're 3-0. They beat Effingham, Morton, and Morris.
I'm pretty sure did their coach Jesse I want to say Bunker, but that's not, I don't know if that's it. But either way, I believe he just got a 600 win against Morton.
They put it to Morton 11-1. And Keegan Sipe, it's either Sipe or Seep. I apologize. Okay. First base, 6'4", 215. He's a junior. He's already committed to Xavier. That dude played in 3 games and hit a home run in each one of them. He's 5 for 10 with 7 ribeyes. I think that is incredible to have your first 3 games, 3 bombs like that, 1 in each game. That's swinging well. So congrats, Keegan.
Absolutely. For my last one here, I'm going to stay with somebody that we both know well, or at least you know his family well. I don't know if you saw, but Griffin Meeker, the Heartland recruit, shortstop, right-handed pitcher from Tremont, had himself a Saturday.
He did.
The Turks doubleheader sweep of Port Byron, Riverdale, and Antioch. Mr. Meeker went 7 for 8. Which helped him finish the first week hitting 9 for 14 or 672 with 2 doubles, 1 triple, and 5 RBIs.
I saw it. Meek is the man. Heartland commit. Great family. Good dude. I've had a chance to chat with him in person a few times.
Somewhere Uncle Tyson is smiling.
And Uncle Tyson I've known since Little League at age 8. Yeah. Man, he's a good player. Heartland's getting a good one. They really are.
Indeed.
He's an all-around player. I don't think there's any weakness to any part of his game. He's that guy. He could play short. He could play center field. He can pitch.
He'll play first base if you ask him to.
He can run. He can hit for power. The bat-to-ball skills are high. Like, there's just no weaknesses with me.
And just an all-around, like you said, good kid.
Very positive dude, just like his uncle.
Yep. Anything to look forward to this week on the schedule there, Mr. Bentley?
I haven't planned out. I haven't mapped out my my targets. But I believe Bartlett's playing Geneva, so I'll probably try to catch that one. And then I'll have to scan a little bit. I'm a little unprepared. I usually have my schedule ready, but I just got back from the great Quad Cities, where my 10-year-old son had his opening day, and in the 3-game tournament where they have time limits of an hour and 10 minutes. It was weird. For the weekend, he went 2 for 3 with 2 walks and a handful of steals and a diving catch. Diving catch in center. Congrats, Gavmo. It was fun. It was fun to see some baseball being played by the little fellas.
Amen. Well, brother, that's all I got.
This is one of my favorite episodes, Diggs. I can't wait to see this and rewatch it.
Yep, I agree wholeheartedly. So we thank you all for checking in, and hopefully you got something out of this episode. I know we did, and we don't even have eligibility anymore. So, well, Bentley does, but I never had any. I still think it's eye discrimination, but that's another story for another time. But we'll be back, same bat time, same bat channel next week, folks. We'll see you then.
Thank you, folks. Take care. I mean, we found